What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic here. Across from me, we have a special guest. We have Mr. Wade Chandler from Ally Outdoors. You guys are based out of the great state of Texas, and we're going to talk a little bit about your shop. You guys have a really cool, unique shop. You guys have a podcast as well. The title of that being
the TPH Podcast.
The TPH, which stands for
Texas Predator Hunting.
Okay, this is going to work out well then. What a coincidence with the topic that we're going to tackle today. Wade, tell us a little bit about the shop, about you, how you guys got started, and like I said, it's a unique shop. It looks like I haven't been there. After looking at it, I think I need to go there.
And definitely, everybody needs to go there. So it's at one time it was the largest indoor gun range in Texas. I think someone might have beat us out, but it's over 8,000 square foot of retail. We have a cafe inside, and then you have all the pistol, tack, and VIP bays. There's a VIP room, diner. I don't know what you really call it. We call it VIP, the Lion's Den.
Okay.
And then you have a indoor 100-yard rifle range, indoor in-house gunsmiths, and then, like I said, our retail space is it's like right around 9,000 square foot, 8,000 or 9,000, and we really hard focus on just carrying a massive amount of firearms and accessories. Like just kind of, we got everything from mild to wild. There's a high-end gun room. You'll see some of the personal collection of machine guns and stuff like that. And you can also go to the range and rent a machine gun. So there's all kinds of neat stuff.
This is excellent news.
Yes. It's really, it should be like a travel destination. There's just that much in there to see. There's that much in there to do, and it's a pretty awesome place.
I mean, it sounds like it. It sounds super comprehensive. I mean, you can buy the things to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot the things you buy. You can grab lunch in between.
Yep. And
if something goes afoul, you got somebody to work on your things.
Yep. Absolutely. The coolest thing about having a range in-house is what we do is we take a lot of the firearms we sell, a lot of the red dots, scopes, and everything else. And there's going to, generally speaking, even suppressors, which is a range, so you can go try it out.
Nice.
Or you can, a lot of people busy nowadays. You can buy the stuff, they'll put it together for you, and go shoot it on the range. It's pretty good one-stop shop for most shooting enthusiasts, I guess is what you'd say, or hunters.
Yeah, heck yeah. Now, you guys have a podcast. Being on a podcast is nothing new to you. Tell us a little bit about that then.
So, the name, the TPH Podcast, kind of comes from Texas Predator Hunting, which is, this logo here.
Gotcha.
It's all intertwined, intertangled. The owner of Ally had reached out to me years ago by happenstance. At the same time, I was ready to get out of construction. It's been doing it for years. And I wanted to pursue something in the shooting industry, predator hunting, something along those lines. And I had this plan. This was free. I even knew about podcasts. I don't even think they were a thing. And TPH come a long way. It started out as a Facebook group years ago.
Okay.
And that's actually how we met, me and the owner of Ally, through Texas Predator Hunting on Facebook. And I'm just like, what? I really love shooting and everything else. I want to get out of construction. It is what it is. It's kind of boring after a while, but it just happenstance he contacted me one day. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up Texas's largest indoor gun range. A lot of stuff you talk about want to do. It's kind of in line with what some of the stuff I want to do. Why don't you come out and check it out? And, look at our plans, because they weren't even built yet. So I come down to West Texas, Midland, met him. We talked about some things. Well, within that, I had pursued, the predator hunt, the serious predator hunting route, which is usually like an arc. You start out, you have, small smidgen of success, and you get really involved in it. Throughout that, I'd gotten really into shooting, as most do. Long-range shooting came next. All the gear and all that stuff came next, and I just immersed myself in this world. And I seen the need for a better ammo than what I could get just buying at the store. So I started reloading. And then I started sitting back looking at, the market as a whole. Like, how can I niche out a place in this market? And I started hatching out this plan to do products for night hunting in Texas, meaning the ammo and some night hunting racks and chairs and stuff, because it's big business in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went and meet with the owner, he's like, I want to start an ammo company to accommodate this. I was like, funny, I want to as well. So it just, did
we just become best friends?
Exactly. That's kind of how it went, realistically. Then birthed Ally Munitions, which is, again, it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
So we do, Ally Munitions is the website side of Ally Outdoors. We, do some e-commerce. But our flagship deal is a hand-loaded factory-type ammo. So it's all hand-loaded, but I figured out myself how to assembly line this situation so we can get the cost way down. I mean, it's still more than factory ammo, but the quality of the product you're getting, and there was a gap in the market for particular items, like certain projectiles people wanted that you couldn't get, and stuff like that. So we launched on that, and now two of our biggest sellers are 6 Arc and 22 Creedmoor. I can't load it fast enough, So we're looking at.
Those are cool cartridges too.
They're huge in Texas, especially 22 Creed.
Yeah.
In the varmint hunting scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which we do some long range ammo and stuff, and it's very popular, but nothing surpasses the popularity of our varmint ammo offerings. Which we're looking to here pretty soon start adding on some machines to do range ammo for Ally Outdoors. Why not have our own ammo for the range? Because that's a guaranteed lot of ammo. Because we rent out guns and sell ammo to the range people. So it just all intertwines. Now the TPH podcast, going back again, I started TPH in 2013, December 2013, because prior to that I didn't know about Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting around one day. This was like in the stage in my predator hunting career, I guess is what you call it, where I was making mistakes and I just didn't, I was putting a few of them together because I'm pretty observant. But there's a lot of them I was just like, I wish there was someone I could talk to. And Predator Masters Forum was the thing back then.
Oh, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Back then, they would bash a lot of newcomers. And they wouldn't give you any information because there was a lot of older guys and they didn't want no newcomers in the sport and, all that stuff. But I was actually dating a girl at the moment who was Facebook savvy. She was like, you ought to start a group. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So the next day we started a group and it went from there. And we were on Facebook in a big boom, the social media boom of products and everything else and, all that. So we grew pretty fast, which, it's Facebook, so there's a lot of robots and everything else. So, we dialed it back. We kind of hover around that 30,000 member mark. But I always had a dream of interviewing people. Because through predator hunting, as much as we hate social media, we also love social media because I've been able to meet so many people. I mean, an argument could be had. That's what led me here today, the Vortex,
For sure.
So then podcasts became a thing. So we started the TPH podcast. And it's, it all intertwines. Just we called it TPH just because so many people know us of that. So we talk. So there's a few other predator hunting podcasts out there, and they're vastly different than we are. So, the people that are, a lot of people will be watching this that watch us too. Like a lot of our fans love y'all's podcast. I mean, we love y'all's podcast. I'm here to admit we kind of borrowed some from y'all's name. Instead of 10-minute talks, we come out with 12-minute talks.
You little. All right, cut. Cut.
Game over.
It's over, yeah.
But, we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's like 6-minute abs.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. 5-minute abs.
Yeah. Couldn't somebody?
Yeah. So we have a lot of fun with it. We focus on not only just interviewing people, these interesting people that are in all these hunting communities. There's very interesting people if you just take time to listen to them. But we also have a lot of fun, and we cut up and laugh and everything else. We're vastly different than the other predator hunting podcasts because we just don't. In my opinion, who wants to sit around and just listen to me jump on about tactics? All the time. A lot of predator hunters' problem when they first get into predator hunting is not only tactics and knowledge, it's gear.
Mm-hmm.
So we cover a lot of cartridges, gear, and everything, rifles and everything else. Because I'm sitting here a fanatic about firearms and everything else, optics and all that stuff, and I have all this knowledge, and I have the ability to get to test a lot of stuff because of the store. So I'm like, we just start, kind of on a whim, we started putting more information out. And then realistically, people like that as just as much as they do, the interviews.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's just a good time for us. I mean, I wish, John couldn't be here, but I wish he was here because a lot of times we just turn on the camera and we decide what we're going to talk about right then.
Yeah.
So, whatever's hot in the media that day,
Yeah, I mean, and that's when some of the best stuff can come out too. It's just
Mm-hmm.
those, totally natural, organic conversations where it's just flowing. You're talking about something you're interested in, passionate about,
Yep.
have questions about, and I'm sure you guys get to talk to, different guests, and they might have a take on something or a tip and stuff that you haven't thought about before. Oh man, I'm gonna try that. Like that's probably one of my favorite things about the podcast is, I've been hunting my whole life, but in the same breath, I crush podcasts all the time. Just constant student, and there's never a lack of things to learn. That's for sure.
We live in the golden age.
Oh.
If you want to learn stuff, and if you want new and good gear, because back when I started TPH 2013, there wasn't nowhere near the stuff there is nowadays, information and gear and everything else, and all these companies like Vortex coming out with new and better stuff every year. It's just. And I say this all the time on our podcast, it's wasted on the most undeserving generation of sportsmen. But, I'm over here like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's awesome. It's all this new gear. Because I remember, growing up, we went to Walmart and got a Tasco. And nowadays, it's every corner, websites, and all, it's the information and the products are so easily available. And they're so great. Every year, they just get better.
Yeah, like you said, the knowledge and just the access to knowledge and, like on podcasts or whatever it is, just the internet has really changed the game.
Yes,
and like you said,
absolutely.
The products are better than they've ever been. They continue to get better at an astonishing rate. It's like you said, it is just a golden era if you want to get into, any number of things. Speaking of getting into things, let's get into a little bit of Texas predator hunting here. So I've got a couple bullet points here written down, but you guys are in a pretty darn good predator state.
Yes. Texas. A lot of people from this area in particular, not this area, but this part of the country, they think that there's literally a coyote behind every bush, and they coined this phrase, coyote farms. Like we're growing them.
Okay, right.
But
right.
In all reality, I haven't been to all the states coyote hunt, so I really couldn't tell you which one's best. But I can tell you, Texas is a pretty fantastic state for coyote hunting, and there's a pretty fantastic state for bobcat hunting, fox hunting. There's seems like we got the best laws for it, but I'm sure it comes with the fact that we have an abundance of them.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean. They fluctuate just like any other game. There are years to where it's just like there is one behind every bush, and then there's years where people are just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The reality situation is just not as many that year. I just went blank. Their pups aren't as good, and they die and everything else. It just depends on the weather, just like all the other game.
Mm-hmm.
But to put it in perspective, contests are a big thing in Texas. I'm sure y'all have heard. There's a couple that in particular that are very large, drawing. There might be anywhere from 400 to 700 teams enter these contests, and at $250 a team, do the math. That's paying out quite a bit of money. So it drives its own commerce. Through all that, we come out with the TPH chairs, which we sell at the store and through the website, which is a night hunting chair for a high rack. And high racks are a big deal. Hunting trucks are a big deal because some of your best country to predator hunt is very thick brush, about knee high. So you have to get elevated. And what they started figuring out, the more elevated they get, it's even better. So you'll see some stuff that you're like, what is that? It might look like it's scaffolding piled up. Like you're probably thinking like, how could they get underneath the overpass? It's that tall.
Right.
But, it's pretty big business. It's pretty serious business, these contests, But, on a good year, some friends of mine, they used to go for numbers game only. Because nowadays there's a lot of that just based off weight contests. And you have some side pots based off of quantity. But quantity used to be a lot bigger of a thing back before they kind of started changing a few rules. In a 24-hour contest, these friends of mine, Casey Smith and Nathan Spencer and a few other buddies, they killed 67 coyotes in 24 hours. And they, I talked to them all the time.
Some serious numbers.
They only had about 20 in the truck. So a lot of these you'll start at noon on Saturday, and you have to be at weigh-in noon on Sunday.
Gotcha.
So technically, depending on how far away you are from weigh-in, you may only have like 20 hours to hunt or, whatever the case may be. They only had about 20 in the truck before dark, and they killed the rest of them from dark till, that's probably that far away. So about, a couple hours before daylight, they had to stop, and they killed that many.
Unbelievable.
That was one of the best years I've seen as far as population numbers. It was, to put it in even more perspective, the summertime, a lot of people don't like to hunt summertime. It's hot and all that stuff, but unless they're decoy dogging, that's a different topic for a different day. But
sure.
I hunted the adjoining ranch that summer through a buddy of mine, knew the owners, and they asked me to come out and show them how to coyote hunt and stuff like that. During the summer, we didn't start till it was about 10 o'clock. Because out West Texas, it don't get dark during summer till damn near 9 o'clock or something like that. It's pretty late. So from about 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we killed somewhere around 40 coyotes.
Dude, that is just unbelievable.
We would be driving stand. Out there, it's, like I said, it's open. There's a lot of oil field roads, and you usually go about 0.5 a mile, make a stand. 0.5 mile, make a stand. As we were traveling from stand to stand, we were seeing coyotes just mousing around. And I'm over here like shaky, like it's like a drug addict in the drug world. I'm just like, we gonna shoot these coyotes, and he's like, oh, I don't really mess with those. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I
thought we were with the coyote hunting and
my estimation is we saw another 40 just driving stand to stand. Dude. That year was pretty crazy. Like all the numbers put up at all the contests were out of control. Like it was just a great year for coyotes, I guess. But it usually runs hand in hand with rodent populations, and that was in the years where some of these ranches out there would just be so overrun with rabbits. The land looked like it was overgrazed by cattle.
Right.
It's you see all those old pictures of back in the day, them doing rabbit drives and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of stuff. It'd be like you could just walk around kicking rabbits.
Yeah,
like there's that many rabbits. But those years run kind of, hand in hand with
you
population,
got that
coyote population.
High prey base and supports a high population of coyotes, and off you go. You guys have a lot of bobcats too, though.
Yes.
Like we can hunt bobcats here. When I lived in Nebraska, you can hunt bobcats, but like here in Wisconsin, it's like it's on a draw. Like you got to draw your bobcat tag.
Oh, I'd have to move.
Yeah. you don't have that problem.
No. You can hunt them whenever you want.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the look of disgust on Wade's
I'm
face
just
right
like,
now.
draw.
He's a little taken back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
We need to go.
Because you guys, like, I'd say, in a lot of places, including here, like, if you see a bobcat, it's a pretty special thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
A little bit more regular for you guys, though.
A lot more regular, but you'd be surprised. Now, Texas has in certain parts of Texas, has a crazy population of bobcats, but it's still one of these animals that like to, sneak around dark.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still one of these animals, and I tell people this all the time, they look at me like crazy. If you have a barn cat, just watch that barn cat for a while and kind of watch what he does throughout the day and night and everything else. Bobcat acts a lot like them.
Mm-hmm.
They might have kind of like a generalized area they like to travel, but a grasshopper hopping by them that morning might change that whole path. So what you get when you're calling a lot of bobcats, nighttime they'll come in a lot easier. And, that's where a lot of people kill a lot more. Daytime, they're so good at seeing stuff move that a lot of people aren't patient enough to kill more. So what you get is like, I just don't have bobcats in my area. And, the reality of the situation is you just hadn't seen them. Because they are very slip around the darkness and, they're lazy at times. Mm-hmm. Just like your barn cat. But the best night I've had were we were actually hunting in a bobcat contest. Going for back when that was the thing, going for the most bobcats. And prior to this, I think the most that had ever been killed was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
We killed 8 and I missed 1.
Yeah.
And that contest, I think 9 won it, or it was something like that.
Do you find that it's taken longer for a bobcat to come in than a coyote?
If you want to kill more bobcats, especially during the daytime, stay on stand much longer.
And do you have to be willing to not shoot the coyotes that come in?
No.
No.
Well, are you shooting express? If you're civilized, you're shooting express. But that's always been a question. But a lot of fox in good bobcat country used to overlap, but nowadays the coyotes kind of pushing the fox even further south.
Sure.
But fox country tends to get really busy in Texas. Good fox country, you might kill 10 fox in one stand. I've seen upwards to 20 plus come in on one stand.
No kidding.
Yeah, it gets a good night in fox country will just ruin you for life. You might see several hundred fox. Our best night, I think, is like 85 or 90. It was pretty crazy.
I mean, you're not talking me out of that. There's one behind every bush at this point.
In fox country, that's a very real possibility. But, prior to running suppressors, we'd just shoot every fox came in. You still might kill a bobcat. Or, that real good night of bobcat hunting we had, there was several times where we'd kill a bobcat real early in the stand.
Mm-hmm.
And you might turn around, there'd be one just sitting behind the truck looking at us.
Okay.
So I don't ever pass on animals, especially coyotes, because coyotes different breed. Is a lot smarter than fox typically, a lot smarter than bobcat. And if a coyote comes in, I want to put it down, because the minute you let him go, he's just a little bit smarter than he was before.
Yeah.
And you do that too many times, what you end up with is a property full of smarter coyotes. So you can. But I don't think it matters. Like, a bobcat doesn't possess the ability to discern, like, that was a gunshot, I better go.
Okay, gotcha.
That was loud noise.
Yeah.
Bobcat don't seem, I'm not going to say they're stupid. They're just not as smart as coyote.
Yeah.
I've seen, through years of predator hunting, and really the biggest game changer for me was spending more time daytime hunting, where you can really watch their activity, how they respond to certain things, and moving out west to where it's more open country, to where you can see a lot more going on. And a lot of time is you'll see these coyotes, they'll hunt in packs on certain things, and they'll do things that you're just like, man, they're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Whereas a cat, I've literally witnessed this myself. The grasshopper thing's kind of a joke, but I've literally witnessed he was coming in from about a mile away is when we first spotted him. And he got within, 100 yards, was trying to draw him in as close as possible for a film. A grasshopper literally went by him, and he completely changed his mind and went off following the grasshopper.
Derailed the whole thing.
Yes. But where bobcats will win you, they'll beat you, is they're very methodical sometimes. Or they're very curious acting. So a lot of times they'll be within the 100 yards very, very quick. But they'll just sit up there and watch. They're more of an ambush style predator.
Gotcha. Right. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I hear this a lot. I've witnessed it myself a lot. But again, going out to West Texas, being more open country, you get to witness a lot more. A lot of times, if you just have a single sound source putting out sound a certain way, a lot of times they'll try to work around the backside of it. Or like I said, they'll sit on the edge of the thick brush and just watch for a long time. If you're daytime hunting and you got someone who's super fidgety, he might just turn around and leave before you ever even see him. But the reality is, when we started carrying thermals, you call in way more than you ever see.
Yeah.
A whole lot more bobcats you ever see. And
I bet that's an interesting reality check.
it is. It's also very aggravating, because they might be in thick brush where you can see them. If you spend enough time through a thermal, you start being able to discern what's what, especially with high quality thermals. And it's bobcat, and he's just right out of sight. It's too thick to shoot in there. And you can't get him with the lights, because when we used to film a bunch, we ran white lights on the camera rig, because it puts out really phenomenal footage for nighttime. But can't see him through the lights, but I can see him just in them bushes, and they'll literally sit there and wait you out, just because they're super methodical about their movements and stuff like it.
They seem to be a little bit more patient.
Yes, very patient. And and then the funny thing about it is it's cat. At the end of the day, it's cat. If you spend any kind of time around cats, like, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. And sometimes you'll go out there and just barely squeak, like lip squeak, because we typically start most stands with a lip squeak. Anything's close. You don't want to blow them out there. and they'll just come running in. Like I said, there's been times where we worked on one for 45 minutes, just calling, waiting, calling, because they'll come in, stop, play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And my belief has always been shoot them as close to pick up as possible, and that's how you're for sure going to find them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're for sure going to make a good shot and everything else. Being calm and waiting for them to come all the way in. And then you turn around, there'll be one right at the bottom of the rack.
Right.
And you're like, I know, he's been sitting here just watching us up the rack. Like, he probably thought about getting up there. Everybody's initial intentions are to call them stupid. I think it's just more curious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then same thing with fox. A lot of people are like, God, them gray fox are really stupid. They're super aggressive. They got little man syndrome like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they always come in like ruffled up and ready to get down.
Well, I mean, and it sounds like, just by the numbers, the competition to get a meal is pretty darn fierce at times. So you better be first to the table or you're not going to get anything to eat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some of those places, it's crazy. And, some places, there's so many people calling that it's a little bit tougher to call them in.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in there with different tactics and hunting right and everything else. It all depends on where you are.
What are some of your you mentioned starting off with a lip squeak, like what are your go-to calls? Anything pretty typical stuff? Any special stuff in there? Any secrets you want to drop?
This is the funniest, most contentious thing about predator hunting. So many people are like, I don't give out my secret sounds, and I'm just like, you'll have to be with me because I don't keep track of it. Whatever strikes me is whatever sound I'm gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
I have certain tactics, and I've always been. That's what's always set TPH aside from everyone else. Like, we're not keeping nothing secret.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it all out there. I'll tell you exactly. I used to keep it detailed logbooks because I thought it mattered. It don't. Once you know, I mean, if you're into data, that's what I enjoy about it. But everybody's trying to figure out something like there's a certain pressure that they're really moving. I like to tell people, go get a rock, throw it up in the air. When it hits the ground, that's when you need to go coyote hunting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as far as sounds and stuff like that, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I see, I just mash the button. Now, there are certain things I do.
24? Oh,
yeah. There are certain things I do during certain times of year. Obviously, certain times of year, it's better to use more, prey sounds. Certain times of year, it's better to use more coyote sounds. I do play that side of the deal, but any particular sounds, no. I usually start with a lip squeak when especially at nighttime, when you can easily get set up right on top of something. If I can lip squeak and eyes pop up and I know it's coyote, boom. We didn't even turn on the call.
Right.
And at nighttime, that's going to happen a lot more than daytime. Daytime, even though a lot of coyotes will be laying around shading and everything else, they'll usually see you. So I don't particularly care too much about lip squeaking as much as I do at nighttime. Now, sounds, I'll typically start with just a rabbit, any kind of rabbit, whatever comes up on the call. And I don't buy sounds, and whatever comes on that call, that's what I'm running, And then I'll go into, if something doesn't come into the rabbit, I'll start with a little bit of bird, or I'll go to a different kind of rabbit, and I'll kind of run through those few sounds. And then, depending on the time of the year, we'll either call it a stand after, about 12 minutes and run a couple different prey sounds, or, if it's certain times of year, I'll end it with a pup sound. Or certain times of year, I may not even play a prey distress, like denning season and, summertime calling, which we usually go once or twice with, I got several buddies that got decoy dogs, and that's mostly all pup sounds. And, depending on where we're at, we may use some howls. But a lot of people's problem is, and I get it because I did the same thing. They'll get into it, and they'll start overthinking everything. And that's when they buy the most amount of gear and everything. They're just like, I got to have this, I got to have that, I got to have this so-and-so had this. I got to buy $400,000 worth of sounds, put on a Fox Pro because, whatever. Keep it simple. Just pay attention which way the wind's blowing, above all. Even when you're just, like, if I'm specifically targeting bobcats, I've seen them come in from straight downwind and almost smell it before. But I still pay attention which way my wind's blowing because there's, generally speaking, going to be a coyote somewhere.
Yeah.
And they are the ones that care. Now, fox do kind of care, but then we've also called them in from downwind. They're just so aggressive. Like, you can usually get a fox to engage pretty quick.
Yeah.
But, I place way more precedence on wind direction and being a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it don't matter how good a caller you are. If you can't hit them, then what are you doing?
Yep. Now, you guys do a lot of night hunting. You're doing night hunting from the high rack, calling from the high rack. during the day? Are you
Contests in certain, contests, we run out of rack nearly nonstop.
Oh, even during the day?
Yep, and the tactic that I use, and some people just strictly hunt out of the high rack, and a lot of these places, like you shoot them a little bit further, but a lot of these places the ground brush is so thick you can get away with it because by the time they see you, you see them.
Okay.
You just got to be quick on the trigger.
Okay.
And that's kind of where part of the reason why the TPH chairs kind of evolved, because it gives people that much more quickness to be on the animal and being able to track them. Because prior to that, everybody had like a rail to the rest of the rifle on and a little bench to sit on.
Yeah.
And when I first started night hunting, because I daytime hunted for a long time before I got into night hunting, I just felt like that was the better progression. Instead of making it more complicated, I get better at it first.
Mm-hmm.
I hunted by myself, so I didn't have the ability to have someone to shine light. Because that's kind of the old school way. People, one guy shines light, and we have this rail to just rest a rifle on. There's no real good rest. It's barely past freehanding. And I'm just like, well, naturally, I want a chair that holds everything. This is back before a lot of stuff was available. I just made everything.
Yeah.
And then what it's progressed into nowadays is, we manufacture and sell chairs to everybody. And it's changed the game, essentially, as far as night hunting. Like, literally within the past 5 years, and this is a lot of back patting, and I don't like doing it, but it's the reality. When a lot of people see what we're doing, everybody's seen, like, the reality, like, oh, this is way better. Because not only are you able to be more stable and steady, you're also able to track running animals way easier. It's literally like sitting in a turret.
Right.
And just falling, it ups their hit percentage because you are stable. You're able to smoothly scan. And the biggest thing was at nighttime when your traditional rack, your light shiner's way up here. Typically, they get a little bit of elevation. Your shooter's down here.
Mm-hmm.
The animal has to be very close, nearly on top of the truck, for you even to see it, because the difference between holding the light and being down here is vast amounts different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you want that light source near your eye level to pick up eye shine fast and be able to get on the animal. So it changed the game. Like, we didn't have to have this dedicated person, and we started seeing animals way further out, and we could prepare for them better.
Yeah.
So high racks, chairs, it's gotten way out of control. Like, y'all have to come to Texas sometime to see some of our hunting rigs.
Well, I was going to say, one of the questions I had written down here is, like, how good is it, and is it worth traveling to do it? And I think just through this discussion, we've answered that question. Yeah, the answer is yes.
It's better if you want to have a real party, come early in the season. Because later in the season, they're being called more. A lot of the young, stupid pups have been shot or run over. I mean, that's typically what happens to most of them. They get run over or shot. And, you start getting in breeding season, it could be a little funky, and the weather starts getting a little crazy. But early season, where you got these first-year pups that aren't smart yet. I say pups, but they're nearly the same size as an adult. They're way funner to call because they're just not educated yet. Mm-hmm. So the chance at high numbers are typically a little bit higher when you come early on. But, I mean, a lot of stuff throws it out the door, because I've had Marches just as good as Octobers. But technically speaking, give yourself, if you're going to travel to Texas, this is where it drives me nuts, is people will call me like, I'm coming to Texas, because we have a rule at our house. Predator hunters and the other hunters are always welcome.
It's a good rule to have.
Brooke is one of the best cooks in Texas. Everybody that's been there can vouch for that. My dad would tell you. But don't give me 2 days to show you a good time. Because West Texas, it might be 40, 50 mile an hour winds, for 3 days straight. As long as you got about a week time, you're going to fall on some good days, and you're going to fall on one of those days where things are just on, and you're going to see tons of animals, and you're going to get a chance to dispatch a bunch of cows and everything else. That's the best advice I can give for anybody. It also give you time to go see, all the sites and all the different hunting rigs. 'Cause it's really important out there. It's big business. All the hunting rigs and everything else. Like, people get it. Like, it's a big deal. Even the people that don't even hunt contests, they typically have, like, it's not uncommon for people to have, untold amounts of money tied up in these predator hunting rigs, because it's just what people do out there. It's I mean, I spent all winter. We do a bunch of deer stuff, but that's boring.
No, it's cool because I've hunted coyotes, in several states, never Texas. But like what you're describing, it's different terrain, it's a different style of hunting, it's a different set of gear. Like it's wildly different from anything that I've ever done. It's definitely kind of a unique set of kit and tactics there. So and it sounds just like unbelievable numbers. It's definitely I've never really heard of anything outside of that would even be similar.
There's some places that got the numbers, and a lot of those guys you just don't hear from. I talked to a lot of them. Texas is a great state, but there's other states like Oklahoma's a sleeper state for coyote hunting, but they don't allow nighttime hunting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a depredation permit from the game warden and run, I think, just night vision thermal. You're not allowed to run lights. There's several states, especially up north here. It's probably more open than this state, but that are fantastic numbers of population. You just don't hear about it quite like you do Texas, because Texas has all these contests and it makes a lot of noise in the community.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then, I'm sure y'all hear from some of these contests when y'all sponsor them, because they reach out to everybody. They get sponsors from all over. Because, we talk about this on our podcast a lot. Deer hunters, they might buy a box of ammo for the season, They might buy one rifle a lifetime. Predator hunters are in the never-ending pursuit of better, flatter shooting, the newest scope, the newest thermal, the newest knife. Like they just, it's all about gear.
If
constantly.
you like gear, which a lot of folks do,
Mm-hmm.
you can get about as serious as you want.
Yes.
That's for sure.
It's funny because you'll see some of these guys, they'll have 20,000, 30,000 tied up in rifle. It's insane, especially when you go to these contests and you see all of that in one place. Like they might have $150,000 tied up vehicle with the high rack and everything else, and then the rifles are running 20, 25, 30,000 a piece. Like the amount of money spent in that category, then most of the industry ignores it, is quite hilarious to me. Like
I can tell you it'd be a tough pitch at my house. One other critter. You got any mountain lions in your region?
Yes, there's quite a few taken, not necessarily in Midland area, but not that far from there.
Uh-huh.
There's in that general area within 4 hours of that general area, 4 to 6. There's quite a few taken every year, and we don't have season. We don't have to draw.
So that's what I was going to say. To my knowledge, it's pretty unique regulations surrounding those things too. So like a person, like if you came down, out of state or in state or whatever, but you would have an opportunity if you saw a line to be able to take it, which is that'd be I wouldn't, I guess, expect it, but boy, that'd be a heck of a bonus.
Oh, absolutely. Generally speaking, in these contests, at least once a year, someone drags one in, which. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that doesn't win you anything, which I never understood.
That should be worth extra or something.
That's the biggest cat. I never understood that one, but that guy should win everything.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, you win.
It's a mountain lion.
It's the ultimate trump card.
Yeah.
I win.
I've said this for years, which I don't hunt them very often anymore. It's just too busy. We do a lot of promotional stuff with them, so I'm busy doing other things. Nothing make you feel like a loser more than hunting a contest. You can go out and have the best night of your life. And we've done it multiple times where we killed 30 coyotes, 4 or 5 bobcats. You're not even on the scoreboard. And I'm like, I was feeling great until we entered this stupid contest.
Right,
but,
right.
It's plus and minus. There's a lot of people that are hyper competitive and they love the contests, and and there's a lot of camaraderie at those contest weigh-ins, and you just you can't. I don't know. You just can't take it too serious, in my opinion, or else you'll be pulling your hair out.
I think those contests, it's in some groups or people, they can get a bad rap. Be like, well, that's that's not. It's man, like you said, it's about the people, it's the camaraderie, it's being around people that enjoy the same things you do,
Yep.
Learning from other people like we are now. Like,
yep.
oh, what'd you do? Like, oh man, you saw a lot of success. What was
Yep.
It's I don't know. It's a reason to get together and do the things you like.
It's same thing, and we talk about this a lot all the time. We harp on it. It's the same thing with like the gun community for years, where they're just like, we just got to be quiet about it. It's like, no, we just need to be more loud about it. There's more people like us out there than there is them. There's more everyday blue collar working individuals who love to go harvest their own meat, or they love to go call a coyote, than there is the people that hate it. Their voices are just louder than ours, because we try to hide these contests and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, promote them harder. Like tell people, tell people why we can go out here and shoot some. It's because there is so many. Like, they're vastly overpopulated on some of these cattle ranches. Like, they don't hear the other side of that. Used to be all sheep country. They give up on it because they couldn't keep them.
Yeah, right.
They were getting, all of them were dying because the coyotes were eating them. And it's, no one talks about that side of the coin. It's, you're not going out and killing 67 coyotes on that's all the land size. That was a massive ranch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But you're not going out killing 67 coyotes because there's not many coyotes. You're going out killing 67 coyotes because there's way too many coyotes.
Yeah.
I assure you, every year there's just as many or more.
Well, and just for as many folks that are going out, you're not getting them all. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not. There's no.
Probably not even scratching the surface.
Nope. It doesn't matter if everybody was very sufficient at predator hunting. You never kill out all the coyotes. It's impossible.
But which is a good thing. That's not the goal.
Yeah.
Man. Well, you are blessed with a pretty darn good predator state.
Absolutely.
The opportunity abounds. If you are predator hunting and haven't made it to Texas, I don't know. I'd be talked into it by now. If you're thinking about it, figure out a way to do it. But Wade, appreciate you coming on here to chat. Chat about your store and the experience that offers, and offer some Texas predator tips along the way. So
I appreciate y'all having us. This is a amazing facility.
It's neat to have you guys out here.
It's just you think you might know, but until you see it firsthand, it's like, holy cow, this is amazing. Like, it's truly amazing.
It's pretty cool, and I always say it's like we're blessed with such a cool facility, but really the ultimate goal is to serve our customers better. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, we can do the podcast. That's hopefully people find that valuable.
Yeah.
We've got guys like Nick showing you around and giving you guys that experience, and then the consumer sales team, and like it's just everything works. It's just a very cohesive unit that has one goal, and that's to serve the customers, and it's pretty cool that we're able to do that. So
I seen Ryan down there. Before we leave, I'm going to say 308 sucks and run out the door.
You better run. But on that note, thanks everybody for listening. Like I said, get down to Texas, shoot you some coyotes. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.